Welcome to the Explainer. What if I told you that the city you're in right now isn't just a place but a performance? You're about to discover a uniquely fascinating project that treats cities like giant unfolding plays. And honestly, it might completely change how you look at your own hometown. Consider this: cities don't just exist, they perform. That's the big idea behind the Warsaw Winter Theatre Company. And let's be clear, this isn't an actual theatre group putting on plays. It's more like a new lens, a framework for seeing how every single city is constantly putting on a show for all of us, whether we're residents or just passing through. Okay, so let's run with that concept. If your city is really just one big show, what does that even mean? What are the scripts that we're all following without even realising it? Who are the main actors, and what about the stage? Design, our streets, our buildings. What story are they trying to tell us? All right, let's pull back the curtain a bit. First up, the city as a stage. What is the Warsaw Winter Theatre Company really? So the most important thing to get is that this is not about putting on plays in a park. The Warsaw Winter Theatre Company is a brand new intellectual toolkit, a new way of analysing how cities perform for us. And it feels especially on point right now in this age of total simulation. Just think about it. With Instagram curated travel blogs, the line between what's real and what's just a performance is getting blurrier every single day. And you know where this whole thing came from? A single moment of insight from the founder, David Hensel. David was just sitting in a park in Warsaw one day, and it hit him. He didn't feel like he was just living through winter. He felt like he was rehearsing for a performance called Winter. It was the strange feeling of being in a scripted reality that sparked the whole idea of, decoding these hidden social scripts and historical set designs that are all around us. Next up, going beyond authentic experience, because this way of thinking really changes how you look at travel, especially that endless search for something authentic. I mean, we've all been there, right? We're all chasing that authentic travel moment. You know the drill, finding that hidden cafe, taking the tour that promises to show you the real city. But here's the twist from the Warsaw Winter Theatre Company. It argues that this whole quest for authenticity has just become another product to be bought and sold. It's a carefully constructed performance of realness. So the goal isn't to find some hidden truth underneath it all. The goal is to just analyse the performance itself. And this really shows the huge shift in thinking here. Traditional tourism is basically a scavenger hunt for an authentic experience that you can consume. But this new method completely flips that on its head. It says, forget finding what's real. The interesting part is analysing how that performance of authenticity is built in the first place. You go from just being a consumer to being a critic, an analyst. So that all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you investigate a city's performance? Well, as you'll see, the whole premise is based around what one could loosely describe as an investigator's toolkit. It's not just about wandering around. There's a whole method to it, and the process is actually pretty rigorous. It's a 4-step thing. First, it's strategic residency. That means you don't just visit for a weekend. You spend weeks in one place to really dig in. Second, you come up with an organisational framework, like a big idea or metaphor to guide you. Third is sustained observation. Think lots of structured, intentional walks. And finally, you document and analyse everything you've seen. It's a cool mix of really living in a place while also keeping that analytical eye. But here's where things get really, really interesting and very 21st century. This whole process isn't just one person working alone. No, it's a unique collaboration between a human researcher and an AI companion. And this is how the team works. You have David Hensel, the primary resident. He's the boots on the ground, the one having the actual experiences and jotting down all the observations. Then you have his partner, an AI named Claude, who acts as the analytical companion. So Claude might scan David's notes and spot a pattern he missed, or it could pull up some obscure philosophical theory that perfectly explains a weird public event he just saw. It's this amazing mashup of human gut feeling and cold, hard machine analysis. Alright, so what does this all look like when you actually put it into practice? Let's get into some of the real-world investigations in the field, because they've taken this method to a few different cities so far, with some pretty fascinating results. Naturally, the first big project was in Warsaw. It's called Travels in Hyperreality, and the whole idea was to look at how the city performs the super polished version of itself, especially for tourists and expats. You know, with all the perfect historical reconstructions and themed bars, it gets so curated that it starts to feel, in a way, more real than the actual reality. Then the show hit the road to Belgrade and completely changed the metaphor. This current project is called OS Belgrade, and it literally treats the city like a computer's operating system. So that feeling of being an outsider is like trying to debug a new piece of software. The goal is to learn the city's unwritten social code and spot the glitches in its system. The second concurrent project in Belgrade is completely different. This one is called What the Water Sees, and it has a simple strategic idea. Let's use the city's two huge rivers as the observers, because they're impartial, right? They're non-human. So by thinking about everything those rivers have seen over the centuries, we're talking ancient battles all the way up to modern-day party boats, one can analyse the city's performance from a perspective that's completely free of human bias. And what's really cool is that all these findings don't just get locked away in some stuffy academic paper. No way, they're going to be turned into all sorts of creative stuff, deep dive blog posts, beautiful art books designed to look like theatre programmes, and even original music made from sounds recorded in the city. The whole point is to create analysis that you don't just read, but that you can actually experience. So after all that, what's the big takeaway? Why does any of this matter? Well, the Warsaw Winter Theatre Company is pure intellectual disruption, disguised as travel writing, and that's really the heart of the whole project. On the surface, it looks like a form of travel writing, but underneath, the Warsaw Winter Theatre Company is doing something way more radical. It's using that familiar format to totally shake up our ideas about places, about who we are, and about what our experiences even mean. And that really leaves you with one final big question to chew on. It's a challenge, really, to all of us, to just look around, look at your own neighbourhood, your own city, and ask yourself, what performance is happening right in front of me? What show is being put on today? And maybe more importantly, what part am I playing in it?